friends, it's Rosalind. Welcome back to my garden. We are out here in the new cut flower garden. This is a perennial cut flower garden that we started developing just back in October. It's still a baby garden, only 10 months old. So I thought today I would just kind of share like the process of what we've done so far in this garden. And then we're going to plant some new roses in here. And then we'll walk around and look at all of the things that are blooming. So last summer, we had some fruit trees planted in here. This is right beside our driveway. Last summer, I was just looking at the fruit trees and I was like, this would be so nice to turn this into a garden. So we currently have 4 fruit trees planted in here. But I just wanted a space for, like, if we have customers stopping by to pick up flower bouquets, I want them to have a space that they can look at to draw inspiration from, or if we have guests over, like just a place where they can walk through and kind of relax. So back in October, I just came in and I marked everything off in this garden, like where I want the pathways, where I want the borders to be. And then we brought some compost manure in, or no, I'm sorry. First, we laid down cardboard on this whole garden. We didn't do any digging. And then we came in with some compost manure and covered the cardboard. Then we did our brick edgers and we just let it set over winter. And it worked beautifully until this spring. So in April, I should have come in here and I should have mulched everything, but I didn't. Because I was busy out in the in the old cut flower garden out back. So the weeds started taking off. Like, we have this crazy grass weed. I don't even know what it's called, but you can't get rid of it. Or I should say, we haven't been able to get rid of it. So this garden has been, even though I've been gardening for 12 years, it's been an experience for me. So we sprayed it 3 times. I do not spray my gardens, but we came out here and we sprayed those weeds 3 times, and they kind of turned brown and then they came back with a vengeance. So finally we just gave up and we laid down, we pushed back all of the mulch that we had laid down, and we just laid it's kind of like a greenhouse grade landscape fabric. It's something that lets the moisture through, but there's no weeds that are able to get through this weed barrier. And then we just did the mulch back over top of that. I really did not want to do that in this garden because I really wanted it to be completely a no-dig garden, which we didn't really dig in here, but I also didn't want any landscape fabric in here. So that is where we are at right now. The plans are to fill this garden completely with peonies, lilies, roses, some dahlias, and just some pretty shrubs. So today I have some roses to get planted in here. I want them on each side of this pathway. So eventually I will have a trellis that will go over this pathway. And these roses, they do grow 5 feet tall. So they'll be kind of like, they're almost like a short climbing rose. But this is Parfuma Earth Angel Rose. And it's from Heirloom Roses, so when they ship their roses, they defoliate the plants, so that's why it's kind of looking sparse right now. But I did notice, look at this, we have a little bud. So these roses do grow, it's 5 feet tall and 4 feet wide. So I'm thinking, like, if we plant it right in here, just like 2 feet away from the pathway on each side, so it doesn't get into the pathway and snag people. So we are going to get those planted. This is what I use for my roses. It's a all-in-one rose and flower care. It has insect control, but it doesn't hurt the pollinators. It's only insects that actually bite into the plant, which pollinators obviously do not do. I really want these roses to be planted like the exact same distance on each side. So I'm going to measure it. Oftentimes I just kind of eye it, but I really want these to look nice once they're planted. Now, to make my planting hole, since I do have landscape fabric in here, I just take a torch and burn my hole. I'm going to get the roses planted, and then I will be adding the fertilizer after they're all planted. Both of the roses are planted, but before I scrape the mulch back in place, I am going to fix the fertilizer for the roses. Now I have enough water in this bucket for both roses, so I'm going to mix together enough fertilizer to feed both roses. All you need to do with this kind of fertilizer is just pour it out at the base of your rose, and the roots will take it on, or it will feed the roots and it'll take it on up into the plant. Then I just push the mulch back into place around the rose. Okay, we have the roses planted, fertilized, taken care of. Let's go see what else is happening in this new garden. I think we'll start in this corner and then we'll go over down the pathway and look at everything. But I just wanted to show you. So this is the grass that we have growing in here. It's like this nasty creeping weed, but I have to take care of the edges yet. We have a creeping pink phlox in here, and this is some Sahara black-eyed Susan that I started this winter using the winter sowing method. Oh, those are so pretty. We have a peony that is still a baby. It hasn't bloomed this year. Some lilies in here. We used to, if you've been around here for a while, you might remember we had a cherry tree planted right in here. It did not make it. We had to take it out. So we have some peach skyfly yarrow. After we sprayed, I thought this plant was dying. I have one on each side of the pathway. There's one right over there. But look at this. We have a whole bunch of new growth. So that is very encouraging. Right in front of that, there's another creeping phlox. This one blooms like a very light kind of periwinkle color. And the new roses that we just planted, I am so excited to see these bloom, and I'm definitely going to keep you guys updated on how they're doing. There's some creeping thyme planted on each side of the pathway that I started from seed as well using the winter sowing method. And the lilies, there's some tall lilies, or they will get tall. I just planted those this spring, some on each side. And as we keep going down this pathway, I have a Coco Loco rose planted on each side of the pathway. This one is very small because the rabbits ate it down to the ground over the winter, but this one has pretty blooms on it. Look at it. Oh, that color is so stunning. Can you imagine, like, let's back up a little bit. Having the Parfuma Earth Angel roses in bloom, and then back here having the tall Coco Loco roses in bloom. And then right back here, we'll have a bench. Like, won't that be so lovely? And then on each side of the Coco Loco roses, I should say, I have a little swoop going around them. I have some verbascum that I had started from seed. This is the only one that's bloomed so far. And it's pretty much done blooming, but look at those blooms. Can you imagine that with the Coco Loco roses? And then I have some Cafe au lait dahlias in bloom over here. And this is a Cafe au lait as well, but look at the color difference. Like, this is so pink and the other one is more of a peach color. We have some more creeping thyme in here as well as on this side of the pathway. So eventually I want to have lavender right behind the creeping thyme. I think that would be very pretty. Back here, we have a plum tree and a yellow twig dogwood that died. I think it was, I don't know. I think the winter might have been too harsh for it or something. Apple tree, and then we have a forsythia. I'm never sure how to pronounce it, but it does get very pretty yellow flowers in the spring. We have a gala apple tree, and trying to not make you dizzy, we have some more dahlias. This is Bacardi dahlia. I don't really use them in cut flower arrangements. I just like seeing them in the flower garden. On the back side in each corner of this garden, I have the majorette double champagne. I think that's what they're called. Hollyhocks. Look at that color. I just want to fill this garden with like these soft, apricot colors and soft pink colors, soft rose colors, soft lavender. It'll be so pretty once this garden is finished. This pear tree has been struggling a bit this summer. I don't know if it's because we sprayed in here a few times, but I do see some new shoots on it, so I'm hopeful that it'll pull through. But down there in that corner, we have some of the Sahara black-eyed Susans, and then I have some more planted down here that have just started blooming. But let's walk down this pathway because it's looking so pretty since these dahlias have started blooming. But I'm just so excited to plant more in here, watch this garden fill in, and bring you guys along for it all. New gardens are so much fun. They have their challenges for sure, but it's just like this great big blank canvas, and you get to be the artist and fill this space with the colors that you want in it. But I hope it's fun for you and helpful as we continue developing this garden and just bring you along for it all. We'll share the progress as these plants continue developing and as we plant more. But thank you so much for gardening with me today, and I will see you right back here next Saturday. Bye.